Coming to you live from the palatial studios of PBJ Productions. Welcome to Patrick and BJ Talk Real Estate, where we talk about life, the universe, and everything as it relates to real estate. Hey everybody, it's BJ.
And Patrick.
And here we are again talking about all things real estate and obviously everything that relates to the island here and in Victoria. And so, you know what, Patrick, what do we want to talk about today?
Well, there's always some action in the real estate news and proposals that are happening in and around Victoria and our 13 municipalities that we sort of keep track of.
How about that? 13 municipalities. You don't think amalgamating would make some sense at some level here?
I'm not sure. I only say that because I talked to Mayor John Rants, former mayor of Metchosin, a long time ago.
Okay.
And he had a really good concept of like keeping the population to a certain size. I know this is completely off topic, but as soon as, and I didn't know this, as soon as a municipality goes beyond a certain population, they lose benefits, subsidies from the provincial government.
Okay.
So, and I know now this is way too off topic, right? So Colwood, I remember Colwood had an issue with their budget. That's a whole different conversation to have.
Yeah.
And then they exceeded this population threshold, and then they had to pay for all of their RCMP coverage.
Okay.
So there was some challenges with their finances for a while.
Okay.
If somebody knows all the details for that, please correct me or add to that or clarify that.
Right.
I'm just doing that from memory.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
So, but you're right. 13 municipalities. The argument is like not having the shared cost of policing.
Well,
especially between Victoria and Victoria and Esquimalt now share, don't they? Or they cooperate somehow.
Possible.
Anyways, but that's still the point of it all.
The funny thing is, whenever I explain to people how Victoria works when they're from out of the neighborhood, out of the area, and they say, "Oh, you live, where do you live?" And I say, "Well, I live in Metchosin in the West Shore, but technically we're all, except for Metchosin, we're all really Victoria on paper.
We're the capital regional district,
right? So I'm explaining to them that even though there's 13 different municipal governments, there's different police forces, there's different firefighters. On paper, we all have an address that says Victoria, BC when we send out our mail. So
East Souk is under the governance of Capital Regional District, but it's in Souk, but it's also in Victoria. the Malahat, which is leaving Victoria.
Yeah.
Okay, but something Willis Point.
Yeah.
Is under CRD, but it's actually in Saanich.
Okay.
It's actually in Saanich.
Okay.
But it's like they won't touch it. Like Saanich won't take care of it, or
I
don't know what the deal is with that.
Okay. But even there,
municipalities.
Well, you have West Shore Mall, which is in Langford. You cross the street behind, and now you're in Colwood.
Oh, wait a minute! Now we're gonna get carried away. You could be traveling down the same road, and it'll change names on you.
Yeah.
Like, what's it? Is it Helmeken? Helmeken, is that right? Turns to Boleskine? Just right out here. It's Boleskine. What's on the other side?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
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 So, Victoria's kind of a weird place. It's not really gridded. I guess I'm sure it's because of the shape of the island and how things grew, and it didn't.
Intersections with 5 lanes.
With like 5 coming in roads, yeah. That used to be a traffic circle. You're talking about just down the road here.
I'm talking a couple of them. There's the one where on Hillside and
where our old office
Douglas.
Is. Yeah, that used to be a traffic circle. Yeah, there's old pictures of that.
Wow, that would have been horrendous as a traffic circle.
Right. So we're getting to. There's developments all happening all around the place. Here's an old one, right? It used to be a bowling alley property. Yeah. That's right beside Mayfair Mall.
Right.
The bowling alley is all gone. It's just been like pavement for like the longest time now.
Yeah.
And they're proposing high-rise towers there.
Yeah, I think 2 24-story towers, right?
2 24-story towers or something. We'll see what happens, right? But right now it's just a proposal.
But it's been moving along. I mean, this is not just it's not just dropping on them today. It's been what, a couple of years in process.
They've been talking about that for 10 years. I don't.
But
know
I mean,
this
proposal. This proposal, I think it's been a couple of years at least, if not more.
Right. So with having a grocery store at the bottom of that,
right,
and having a residential component above,
right, yeah,
right. Well, I hope it comes to fruition. Not like the Uptown property, which PBJ Studios currently resides at, right? Yeah. Looking at that initial proposal was all, we have all this great shopping here and parking, and there was supposed to be like 3 or 4 towers here.
Okay.
And then once it broke ground, like we found out like, oh, this is not going to be a residential component. I can't remember. That's a while ago, right? So I can't remember if it was the market turning and they had to readjust, or if this city of Saanich just didn't approve that much density all at once.
Right.
Right.
Possible.
Yeah.
But I guess the good thing we can, to take out of that is that there's still projects moving forward regardless of what, regardless of what the headlines say about what's going on with the economy and what's going on with interest rates and all of these things. Projects are still moving forward.
And there's a long turnover for this.
Yeah.
For like Victoria, it could take 4 years to get something improved.
Right.
Now, obviously, that's a problem, and there's some effort being done, like with the middle housing initiative program, right? To like blanket zone, almost blanket approve, if somebody wants to take a low density single family home and make it into like a small townhouse complex or a small apartment building, like a 6-unit.
Right.
Kind of thing. So that's all positive. All of these projects just seem to take time, and the developers are going to always ask for more than what they can get, and they negotiate with the city.
Sure, of course.
So I think it's just the way they've learned to do it with the cities. They're always going to ask for more.
Yeah.
The community's going to come out and say, "Not my backyard." They're going to be against everything, and then give it enough time. How many kicks at the can before it gets approved?
Right.
Right. What is this one on Swan Lake? What's the road over there?
Townhouses, right? Townhouses.
I think the initial number was 35. It's getting rejected. It's coming back at 25 now.
Okay.
The community was saying, no, they should only be half the amount of density there, half the number of units.
Got it.
So we'll see what happens there, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know there's some new townhouses. They're pretty close to going on the market in Esquimalt.
Yeah. Esquimalt's been pretty good.
Yeah, where they're 2 beds plus a den, 3 beds plus a den, with a garage, 3-story.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the 700s.
Kind of fits that middle housing idea.
Right.
To the T.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's why Mayor Desjardins over there has had a long reign as being the mayor over there. Like, she's been pretty positive. I think Esquimalt's benefited with her.
Right.
Not to say she's perfect or any of that, but I think they've been really working hard to turn Esquimalt's image around.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess...
over time, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can take all of that. I think the thing to take from all of this is that we know things are moving forward, right? And I think this goes back to something we've talked about before, that if you can make it work, now's the time to buy. Yeah,
everything's like moving at a slower pace.
Yep.
Just because a project is proposed now.
Yep.
Or even if it was approved now, like, they might not break ground for a couple years.
Yeah.
Here's one that's been sitting approved for I have no idea, longer than I've been here. So I've been here about 20 years.
Yeah.
The Olympic View golf course is already pre-zoned for like their development, and they've just been sitting on it.
Yeah.
So they can have townhouses, single family homes. They don't have to go through any public hearing process.
And what would they do? Demo the golf course entirely to do that? Or as part of the golf course?
There's so much land there, right? And it spans 3 municipalities.
Wow.
It's in Colwood, Langford, and Metchosin all together, and it's already approved.
Right. Like, I know the reason I asked.
My point is, like, it takes time, and even when it takes time, the developers might choose to wait for a while before they feel like investing another 20, $30 million into these projects.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Makes sense. I guess, again, the point of what we're talking about, I guess, is to say that stuff is still happening. The market hasn't ground to a halt. We're seeing development continue. We're seeing, the process continue on with what's already in place. And the interest is still there. People still want to move here, right?
I got some negative spin on some news that I didn't realize when this came out. I just wasn't thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't on my radar. But I'll turn it into a positive. So foreign home buyer ban, right?
Okay.
If you had a company and you were looking to buy residential property, but you had 3% or more foreign ownership,
okay,
you would be banned from buying residential properties in areas that you're not allowed to. That's banned.
Okay.
Because the Canadian federal foreign buyer ban is not a blanket ban across all of Canada.
I think they do these just for tongue twisters.
It's hard for me to
remember. Canadian federal foreign buyer
missing
ban.
middle initiative something. I can't remember them all, right? Okay. So my point is, if your construction company, you're like, I don't know which company, right? Well, let's say you're a huge company and you had 3% ownership that was owned by foreign.
Sure.
You couldn't buy a residential property to make a land assembly to build a high-rise tower to add more supply.
Yeah, sure.
For affordable housing.
Right.
All of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So here's the good news. What if you're the guy that's always been beat out by these bigger companies? Now you have less competitors to buy something and go ahead with your project.
Yeah. As long as you have the wherewithal to do it.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
For every bit of bad news, there's a slight twist to everything. I think there's always an opportunity there.
Yeah, 100%.
So, if somebody wants to get into construction,
yeah,
maybe now is a good time.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Right. If things are slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
It might be easier to get trades. There might be a little bit excess supply on building materials.
Yeah.
Because contractors have been telling me they can't always get everything when they want it.
Yeah.
Let alone trades, because they're busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this slowdown could be good for everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Slow down back to a normal pace.
Yeah, normal, right?
The new normal.
The new normal, but on the other side of it is, we'll talk about this on another video, but we are seeing some multiple offers.
I haven't added it up yet, but it's out there.
Yeah, so
we still have a low supply.
Yeah, so the market is starting to everybody's figuring out what that new normal is and what it looks like.
It's still early in the year. We're not in the spring market just yet.
Yeah.
Low supply. Anybody who comes on the market with a house that everybody wants, that's well priced,
right.
You have the same 10 people looking for that house. So of course we're still getting multiple offers.
Yep.
We're not at 5,000 listings.
Yeah.
That would be a different challenge.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I'm grateful not to have 5,000 listings.
Yeah. That'd be a lot.
3,000, I think, in my mind, would be 3,000, 3,500.
Yeah.
Would be perfect for me.
Right. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I know we just kind of took a few different routes today and kind of were a little bit casual about what we wanted to talk about, but we just wanted to bring across to you that things haven't stalled entirely, and the headlines are a little bit whether it's the clickbait headline or just the headline, they're more about getting your attention maybe than giving you all the information of the goods of what's going on. So I guess this is us saying things are still moving forward and the market continues to move. So it's not as it's not what everybody's been saying. So thank you all for joining us again. So we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, ignore the headlines.
Yeah,
I would say.
There you go.
And we'll catch you in the next video.
Yeah, you can catch our headlines.
Catch our headlines.
Okay, see y'all.
Bye.